It's nice to be here with everyone. It sounds okay, my audio? Yeah, cool. Yeah. So I don't know how this will come out. There's something about authority that I want to talk about and how that twists up the body like so much, immensely. And it is kind of sad that ever since we were young, we were taught to trust and believe and listen to another. And so we're constantly outside of ourselves. And what that produces over time is like never feeling settled, never feeling you're doing it right. Not never, but like it's an often, it will come up often where you're like constantly referring to someone else on how to live life, how to breathe properly, how to meditate properly, how to walk properly, how to exercise properly, how to eat properly, how to look proper. Like it's just everything. And I think when you really drop more and more of the facades, you see what authority did to the body. That's all you feel. You feel the wrongness, badness, second guessing, never feeling okay, never feeling right. Immense amount of guilt and shame. And so when that stuff starts to soften and you see that it doesn't actually mean that you're wrong. It doesn't actually mean that you're doing anything wrong, you're doing it the wrong way. Like it's okay. It's actually all okay. It's not important, it's not significant. You never needed to copy someone and mimic someone. You were never a better person because of that. And so there's just more and more absence of any interpretation or reflection onto what you're doing. It's just what it is. It's just thoughts, it's just feelings, it's just walking and breathing and eating and shitting. Like that's it. And it's going to vary. But yeah, there is this absence of an overlay, a constant monitoring and putting meaning onto things and interpreting and a value system and hierarchy that I am somehow better than or less than others because I'm this way. It's disgusting. It's so disgusting. And when you see it in its entirety like this, you're like, "Holy fuck." It's kind of all of humanity because we've all been brainwashed that way. And it's a lived experience in the body now. Like people can't help but function that way, and so the way that they act and the way that they speak, the emptier you are, it's so apparent that that's what's there because it just feels off. And there's a different level of I don't like any word, but because it doesn't make any sense. But there's a different level of trust within this body because it just becomes so apparent that everybody is so full of shit. and just trying to control you in some way or get their way in some way and put their perspective onto you. Well, they can't help but do that. That's all they see. They don't see you, the emptiness of you. It's the undefinability of you. They see their perception of you. And that's where they're interacting from. And so, yeah, I remember a period where I was like, there is nobody to trust. But there was a freedom in that. And also an immense clarity. And, there were old patterns of like, no, you shouldn't think like that. And the old habit of like, do I have trust issues? or, but no, it wasn't coming from that place at all. It was just the body had purged all of the nonsense and the bullshit. I can't say all, but like so much of it that it's just so obvious that people are so full of shit. And you just don't want anything to do with that. Like you can have a conversation and I mean, it always depends, but now so much has flattened that it doesn't feel that big of a deal to be around people. I'm still selective. It seems that way, but I am less it's less stark. It's less like, holy shit, you are so harmful and you have no idea. So it's okay. I think what has also settled is I'm okay. Um, I can sense that I can handle it better and better the more that time passes and the more that the body just like processes things or feels things. Yeah, it's not as disgusted, it's not as angry, it's not as disturbed. Yeah, so it's nice. There's like an understanding of what's going on there, but not from a I'm not carrying it. It doesn't feel like the body is carrying anything. It feels empty. I think that's also part of the tricky part of going through this because I could see why that authoritativeness would pop up here and there and then it would be co-opted again because you feel like you do know more and you don't know that that authoritativeness it takes everything for that to completely be flushed out of the system. And I could see that in all these spiritual teachers and these. And I think only because it kept emptying out here, you see that it just gets freer and freer. It's crazy. It's crazy the amount of freedom. And it's so obvious that this, like the depth of peace and freedom, is unmatched. And you see that none of that is worth it. You know, even if you were, there are these little temptations because you don't know how much clearer it can get and how much more free the body can be. So there are little temptations of like, oh, yeah, just like little bits of power and wanting people to see you as the person that knows, and being the person that gives that information. It can be subtly intoxicating in, it's just another hit. You're just another junkie. That's all that's happening. You're still not out of the dream. And it's fine. It doesn't matter, but because everybody's doing it in different ways. But I guess it mattered here. I guess it, I didn't want to be like that. It was just gross. You could feel the grossness. You could feel the offness. So, yeah, I didn't know that this feeling of offness, this feeling of, even in the subtlest ways, not feeling rested or okay with whatever. Wait, how did I start that sentence? I don't even know what I was gonna say. Um, I didn't know that that could go away so thoroughly. And I didn't know that it sounds so cliche. Um, that the body had everything it ever needed this whole time. And the only thing that it accumulated was a bunch of nonsense. And so when you're emptying out, all you see is the nonsense. All you feel is the nonsense. And yeah, and it's difficult because all the reflections that you get is like most likely a confirmation that the nonsense is true and that you should believe it again, and that because they don't know that there's another way of functioning. Like nobody knows pretty much unless you completely die. Nobody knows. So all they're doing is confirming the nonsense to you. And so you doubt yourself at times. You're like, maybe they're right because you're not completely sure yet. I think that's why it was so priceless to have my friend confirm to me over and over again that it was bullshit and that I don't need to listen to that. And it did help me land again and again and again here. And you go further and further and further. This is such a strange thing because I'm just like remembering what I felt like a couple months ago, and it was like complete depletion. And it wasn't in a bad way. It was just it had nothing to live for anymore. No meaning placed on anything, no importance on anything. It was just blank. Yeah, it just goes to show you like how unpredictable it is, and that any assumption that you have of like, oh, this will last forever, it will be like this forever, and it's like all not true. None of it is true. The thoughts have the mind has no idea. I don't know what the mind is. It's just a word, but it just has no idea about anything. And so, because I share how this is and it's not like a pretty picture from the person's perspective, I will get a lot of messages, not a lot, but messages here and there that are just like, I'm awake and you need to do these affirmations because they think that I don't know, they haven't gone to this place. So, like, they don't know. They don't know that they're still completely deluded. Um, there's still that energy of like, you shouldn't feel that way. You shouldn't linger there. You shouldn't. There's still total control, total manipulation of the body, total fear. And it's okay. It doesn't bother me anymore. I think there's just an understanding of like, yeah, everybody's so fucking lost. Of course you're going to get comments like that. Like, of course. That's the only, that's the main thing. that you'll get, which isn't funny. It's hard at times. It can be hard at a certain point. But then again, you'd be surprised that the body does kind of become a bit immune to it, because it's heard it all and felt it all. And but it depends. My friend still has a hard time because he's in a normal work environment and it's all normal people, and it's hard. They're just all full of bullshit telling him how he should be, and it's not nice. There are a few people here and there that are tolerable and aren't trying to put their shit onto you. And it's nice to probably meet those people and have those conversations. Anyways, if anyone would like to interact, you're welcome to. It doesn't have to be about anything that I said.